Welcome to the Rusty Garage and Homestead. My name is Mike. I'm here with my friend Joe from the Okie Woodsman channel. And Joe brought a bunch of chainsaws for us to try today. I've never ran the 7310. It has been ported. The 372 XP. Joe did a base gasket delete. He's got a video all about that. And a Exile muffler on that saw. We've got my 572 and Joe's 562 with the Steadfast Forest Products muffler on it. And this isn't going to be a direct comparison video because we're not going to swap chains on all the saws and try to make everything exact. I haven't run a lot of these saws, so I just want to run them and kind of get a feel for them. And yeah, just test them out. I enjoy running saws. Joe enjoys running saws, but what can you tell us about like the Echo?
Absolutely. So this Echo is a recent purchase of mine. This was a saw that I sent off to porting, Tim at Iowa Performance Saws. I had probably less than 7 tanks through it before it got sent to Tim. I don't think Tim replaced rings or anything on it, so I believe that the saw still has quite a few tanks before it's running at its absolute peak. It's very common for Echoes to really continue to wake up over the long run. There's just something about them. I don't know if it's the hardness of the rings or whatever. So, but this saw has been ported and machined. So he did a fantastic job on this. I'm really happy with it. It has less than, I'm gonna say it's probably less than 2 tanks of fuel through it since I've had it. So we're still under 10 tanks total on this saw.
Yeah, and we've made several videos today. Joe's already ran this saw. I'm highly impressed with the 7310. It did a fantastic job. It was the saw that fell this tree earlier. If you want to see that video, you're gonna have to go to Joe's channel. What about the clone saw, the 372?
This is a G372 Pro. This has been kind of like a project saw for me. There's a lot of aftermarket on here, and all that's been changed is bolt-on parts and a base gasket delete. So really, this is something that anybody can do in their garage on a G372 Pro. I'm running the saw with the same carburetor that it came with, and it does have the Exile muffler, the Exile dogs, and the base gasket delete, which brought the squish down. I want to say it was around like 24 thousandths, 23 thousandths or so. And this saw runs great. It's a lot of fun to run. I actually look forward to getting this saw into more wood.
Mm-hmm. I've heard you say that, and pre you doing all this, the bolt-on parts and the base gasket delete, you still said this was one of the better clone saws that you have owned that you've ran.
This is my 3rd Husqvarna 372 Clone. And this is the best one I've had, without a doubt. It runs like it keeps a tune. It does what it ought to do. There's been a couple little nitpicky things here, but overall the runnability and everything is fantastic on it. I have a little nitpicky thing right now on the choke lever. In fact, it's loose right now. It's no good. I unhooked it. So I've got to fix that. It'll be real simple. I don't even really need to buy anything, but I've got to work through a couple little things like that, but it's a great saw.
These two I'm looking forward to because I've never ran them. The 562, I ran it briefly after we put the muffler on it, the Steadfast Forest Products muffler, and really enjoyed it. I haven't really put it in any big wood, so looking forward to running it. The 7310 I still think is a dream to run, and these two, yeah, I'm looking forward to it because I do want to add an Echo to the lineup at some point in time. Whether it's a 7310 or 620, I don't know yet.
And something I also want to mention, the reason why Mike, in my opinion, has this 572 is because he ran my 562 and my 545 and was like, wow, this is nice. And then today I ran the 572. It's the first one I've ever seen in person. And I ran it, and it is just a larger 562, which is a good thing because the 562 is wonderful.
It is.
And it's just so much fun to run. And this saw, if anything ever happens to it aftermarket-wise, it's going to be really cool. It'll be awesome. So, because it's already good.
Yeah, it is. And we've got aftermarket stuff coming. That's going to be coming probably sooner than later on that saw.
Awesome.
So, I think we're going to start out with the 372. Make a few cuts, down, up, down, move on to the Echo, then we'll test out the 2 Huskies at the end. I think it's got torque.
You think so?
I think so. Smooth.
Good. Did you think the 7310 was pretty smooth?
Honestly, that one surprised me the most.
It did?
I knew what to expect with this one. I pretty much knew what to expect with this one, but out of those two, I honestly thought that the Clone was going to be smoother, kind of like these, but it felt good.
You think the 7310 felt good and smooth?
Mm-hmm.
It was a good feeling saw.
Yeah, it feels torquey.
Yeah. Yes, but man, that actually, to be honest with you, that one's the surprising one to me. How good it is stock.
I love it.
I mean, it's how good this 572 is stock. I mean, it's just amazing, actually.
Makes you want one?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You're liking a 5 Series.
I am liking a 5 Series. But how many more 70cc saws do I need?
All of them.
I've got that 550 will be here this week. I'm excited to see what that does compared to the 545.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to probably be saving up for it's a hard thing. It's like, do I want to get a 562, a 572, or a 592? Which one should I shoot for?
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, the 562, I've already got that one, and it's excellent. And I don't really want to sell it. I love the Steadfast, and so I don't know if I want two 562s. You know,
I'm ready to try that 564 when that comes out.
Yeah. You and a lot of other people. That is exciting. But I'm really curious to see where it's going to come in at. You know, really curious.
Yeah.
The most surprising saw to me would be the 572. I was actually absolutely astonished at how good it was stock. Now it's running a relatively new C83. How many tanks of gas do you think you have on it?
I think this is the 5th tank.
You have 5 tanks of gas on this chain?
It's either 4.5 or 5.
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
It goes a while on a tank.
It's still cutting. It still feels sharp. It's still cutting into my nail here. It's probably about time to do something with it, but it still is cutting fairly nicely. C83s are just quick. They have the high raker, so it really allows for this saw to do what it needs to do.
Yeah.
This saw was just absolutely great with the in stock form.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
My thoughts, I knew what to expect from this. I knew what to expect from the 562. They both still feel extremely smooth. They felt really good going through the wood. Between the Husky and the 372, they both felt good. They both sounded good, but it did feel like that 7310 just, it felt like there was still more torque. I felt like I probably could have leaned on it quite a bit harder and it was still going to take it, which I really didn't lean on any of the saws. I kind of just let them go. I wanted to get a feel for how they felt. They both felt good, but yeah, I think the Echo, I don't know. I guess I was expecting the 372 to feel like this. And
do you think that the Echo felt more like this? In a way, like in terms of how it felt, like cutting. I'm not talking about the power band, but the feel of the saw, like the smoothness and all that.
I would say so.
Yeah.
The 562 and the 572 both are extremely smooth. They both, they're in a league of their own as far as smoothness goes. But yeah, the 7310 just felt, it felt like a work saw. Like it was, I could have ran it all day and not had any issues with it.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just a lot of fun, you know, just doing this stuff. You know, this doesn't necessarily prove anything per se, with the exception that they all cut wood and they're a lot of fun to run.
Yeah, they are.
And this one has a lot more room to go for being even more fun.
Yeah.
That's all it's to it.
Yeah, it is. It's fun. I like running chainsaws and I like trying different chainsaws. For decades, all we had around this property was steel saws. For decades, that's all I ran was steel saws. And last year, Joe brought his 545 and his 562, and after running them, I knew I was going to have to end up buying one just because he told me beforehand that they're like a sewing machine. They're a smooth chainsaw. And honestly, if I never would have ran those a year ago, that saw wouldn't be here right now. I would be missing out on that experience of that's a nice saw. That 572 is just...
Well, it looks good in your hands, man. You look like a pro with it, man. It's awesome. Like when I was watching you cut, I'm like, man, that's a good looking saw. It's a good looking saw, man. It has, you could tell it just has good power, and no wonder Dustin liked it so much. You know, when he told me how much he liked it, I was like, man, it must be good. It must be good. You know, because
I've been wanting you to run it.
Yeah. Oh, well, I love it. I appreciate you buying it, so I didn't have to.
It's I'm sure in the future we got some more stuff we're going to do to it. Joe's probably going to run it again. I'm sure multiple times, and you guys will see this a lot. My channel, probably Joe's channel, and yeah, it's a fun saw to run. They're all fun to run. They all sound good. This one's louder than I was expecting stock.
It is actually.
I always wear earplugs, but that day Dustin was over here and ran it, I was running the camera for him. I didn't have earplugs in, and yeah, it was louder than I was expecting.
It's loud. It is actually louder, and they say that the 592 is extremely loud. I cannot imagine.
I can't either. I want to run one of those next.
Yeah. Well, let's cross our fingers and hope one shows up, right?
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully. Anybody got a 592 out there they want to let us use for a bit?
Well, I kind of have an itch. I do. I do. I'm thinking about all this big storm damage wood. It'd be too hard on the 70cc saws to keep cutting up on them.
Definitely. We'll definitely need a 90 plus cc saw for that.
36-inch bars, and yeah, absolutely. I think there's a valid justification.
I think so. I like where your head's at. But anyways, everyone, yeah, this was just kind of a fun day. Me and Joe making some videos out here. Several of his saws that I haven't got to run that I've been wanting to run. We talk about them all the time because YouTube's pretty cool because you meet all sorts of people.
Yes.
And Joe's become a real good friend of mine. We talk almost daily, if not daily.
Yeah.
And hearing him talk about the new saws that he's running and after they've been ported, yeah, it's been making me want to run your saws quite a bit. So I appreciate you bringing them by.
I'm sorry to his wife.
But everyone, if you haven't checked out Joe's channel, Okie Woodsman, check it out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. I think that'll be a good video.
Yeah, I think so too, man. It'll be fun.